Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Live Ones. I am Big Matt, your capper extraordinaire. It is Thursday, April 14th, 2022. The big story today, the NBA play-in tournament last night. We saw the Pelicans pretty easily handle the Spurs, who frankly were only even in a position to play in that play-in game in the first place with their 34-48 record because of how much of a colossal embarrassment the Lakers were this year. The Spurs were just what was left in the West. The Pelicans go on to play the Clippers tomorrow night for the right to be the sacrificial lambs to the Phoenix Suns in the first round of the playoffs. The Hornets got absolutely, positively blown the fuck out by the Hawks in an utter humiliation on the defensive side of the ball. We knew the Hornets were a team that didn't care much for defending, but man, the Hawks just, they made them look absolutely silly. And then we had this little piece of business take place as the game was wrapping up and as it became obvious that it was over. We see Miles Bridges here get called for goaltending. And he's upset about that, and he curses out the referee. Just absolutely lets him have it, and the referee gives him a technical. And it was his second technical of the game, so automatic ejection. So on Atlanta's court, obviously, so everybody, you can see the fans are having a good time. They're heckling him. Bridges still pressing his case. He's still cursing him out. And as he's walking off the court here, takes his, you'll see here as he's coming out, there's this dude at the edge giving him a hard time, saying bye-bye. He chucks his mouthpiece, completely misses the guy who's heckling him, and wounds up hitting a 16-year-old girl right in the face with it. He is not having a good time this morning. He's definitely the subject of a lot of attention that he really, really didn't need, and he gave a press conference where he apologized to the girl. Just how do you miss that badly? I mean, just the angle that he was at. We can go back and Zapruder it if you want, but man, they just horrible aim. Just hit the girl right in the face with his disgusting mouthpiece. The girl took it in stride, of course. But so that's that. The Hawks now move on for the right to be the 8th seed. That game's going to take place tomorrow night as well. We had an excruciating day yesterday. We went 1-3, but all three losses were as close as you could possibly get. The Phillies and the Mets tallied 4 runs through the 4th inning. We were looking for an under 4.5 runs. I thought we might just make it through 5 with the under. Aaron Nola got pulled. Sir Anthony Dominguez comes in and settles down in the top of the 5th. There were 2 outs, but then Alonso comes in and just belts a double on a sinker that I swear was about like maybe 3 or 4 inches off the ground. He chased it so far out of the strike zone, but just ripped it into the gap and drove in the 5th run, so we lose that one. The Hornets game, we won in an over of 235.5. The final total, 235. Missed it by half point. We needed the Mariners to get 5 runs, top of the 9th. They're rallying. They get a 4th run, but they just come up short. Hey, those are the breaks. Just an unlucky day for us. But we've got an 11-game slate of baseball on tap today. Some nice plays. Let's get right to them. And we're going to go back to the well with the Phillies. They're facing the Marlins today. They open up a series on the road down at Lone Depot. The Marlins are 1-4, but don't let the record fool you. 3 of their losses were by 1 run, and 2 of them were walk-off wins by their opponents. They're starting right-hander Sandy Alcantara, who was wild in his opening day start against the Giants. He walked 5 batters in 5 innings, but he does get the benefit of a Phillies offense that has really been struggling out of the chute to get the season started, particularly against starting pitchers. Kyle Gibson is starting for the Phillies. He looked really solid in his first start against the Athletics, but it was a bit of an unusual one for him in that he struck out 10 batters. Normally, Gibson's been an innings eater who reliably gets you deep into games, gets you through 6 innings, and he's going to give up 3 or 4 runs doing it, but usually that's it. The Marlins bats have also been cold to start the year, even with the acquisitions of Avisail Garcia and Jorge Soler. So far this season, those two have no homers and no RBIs in 32 combined at-bats. Soler is hitting 158. Garcia is hitting 154. He's got a back injury, and he's missed 2 straight games. But you've got to have some positive regression sooner or later. And I think it's tonight. The Marlins lineup profiles really well against Kyle Gibson, who's a right-handed sinker-cutter pitcher. Diving deep into the stats, this Marlins lineup hits that really well. And it showed the only time Gibson's ever faced them, which was last year when he got absolutely rocked early on. I don't think Gibson's going to have a repeat performance of his first start. He's going to give up some runs. Alcantara, first start jitters notwithstanding, is a much better pitcher. I don't know how the game's going to end up once we get to the bullpen, but I feel pretty confident the Marlins are going to have an early lead. So give me the Marlins first 5 money line at -115. Moving on to the Nationals and the Pirates. The Nats have gotten themselves on a little bit of a hot streak here, winning 3 out of their last 4, including taking 2 from the defending champs and the Braves. They get the benefit of facing JT Brubaker, who is just, he's horrendous. He's abysmal. He'd be a number 5 starter on just about any other team in the majors, but he's the Pirates' ace on account of their literally not having anyone else. Brubaker was Pittsburgh's opening day starter, but he was really rocked early on. Allowed 4 runs and 4 hits in 3 innings with just 2 strikeouts and 4 walks in what wound up being a 9-0 loss to the Cardinals. He's in his 3rd year with the Pirates. He's faced the Nationals just once, which was a no decision last year where he gave up 2 runs in 5 innings. As bad as the Nats are likely to be this year, they've been doing surprisingly well the last couple of days. They have a young starter in Joan Adon who's there's not a lot of tape on yet. The Pirates scored 6 runs against Chicago yesterday, so consider that their mathematical law of averages good day, that they're not going to have 2 of in a row. Like I said, as bad as the Nats are, the Pirates are worse this year. So give me the Nationals on the money line as the slight road dog for the plus 114 value. We're making a value play there. Last but not least, over to the AL East. The Blue Jays and the Yankees, man, Vladimir Guerrero Jr., he is one of the rocks on which baseball in the 2020s is going to be built. What an incredible player. Has every tool he needs to surpass all of his father's numbers someday, as long as he stays healthy. Toronto is looking to improve to 11-3 in its past 14 visits to Yankee Stadium. It was like I said, it was a big night for Guerrero. 3 home runs and a 6-4 win. Both of these offenses have been in great form to start the year, particularly in terms of long balls and extra base hits. Yankees, frankly, should have more runs than they do, given their slugging, but just some unlucky breaks haven't gone their way offensively so far. The pitching matchup tonight pits Kevin Gausman against Luis Severino. Gausman, much like Taijuan Walker, the Mets had a dominant start to 2021 and then just kind of fell apart at the end of the year, which is why his season opening start, where he allowed 3 runs on 8 hits to the Rangers, is really concerning. Should be really concerning if you're a Blue Jays fan. On the other side, it's Luis Severino, who has not pitched at a regular rhythm at all in the last 4 years. Between the rotator cuff problems that he had, his Tommy John surgery, and his groin pull last year, it's been 2018 was the last year that he played regular baseball. You just can't jump back into the lion's den with this Blue Jays offense after that length of time and expect your arm to be up to snuff. So I expect a high-scoring affair tonight. The game's likely to be delayed as there's a line of severe thunderstorms that's going to be moving through from about 5 o'clock to about 7 o'clock. But it's not going to be a case of the main line of rain is going to be passing through and then it'll just be spitting rain and be unpleasant weather. This is one of those classic northeastern U.S. Summer severe storm fronts that we normally get during the summer, but it's a really, really warm week right now. It's going to pass through and then it's going to be clear skies afterwards. Once they get going, it should be a fun offensive showcase to watch. Give me the over 8.5 runs. That is my 3rd and final play for the night. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at Live One Sports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourselves a great Thursday night, and I will see you next time.